Rough sleeping is a lifestyle choice, according to Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary. Are you flipping kidding me? Is this the depths of depravity that we have got to accept? Isn't it about time we got out of our pitchforks? We will protest quite happily about stuff. But what about the poor homeless people? No. They can just freeze to death, as far as Suella Braverman is concerned. About time we got rid of them, wouldn't you say? Pitchforks or guy forks, whatever it takes. Just don't get caught this time. Okay, I jest, but you can't do that, obviously, that's legal. But still, crikey. I find it hard to believe that some people out there will think it's okay for this witch of a woman, and that's what she is, a witch of a woman, now wants to take away the tents of homeless people and criminalise charities to hand out tents to homeless people in the winter when there's going to be freezing and when we've got flooding and when there's no safe accommodation provided. Even the hostels aren't safe. In fact, they're probably some of the worst places they can go. Well, so my son told me. He used to help in the hostel in Norwich. It's flipping horrendous. Just put your shoes on the other feet, eh? Or their shoes on your feet. Just think about it for a second. If you were homeless in the winter, in the freezing cold, what would you be doing? Freezing to death, maybe? Wondering where your next meal will come from, maybe? So yes, Suella Braverman says rough sleeping is a lifestyle choice. And yes, she has received a lot of criticism, and rightly so, for this tweet that she's put out, saying British people are compassionate. So compassionate, we'll let them freeze to death. Not the British people, but the homeless people. Now, we'll always support those who are genuinely homeless. If you ever got home, and you're keeping on the streets in a tent, well, quite frankly, you're homeless. What the hell is she on about? But we cannot allow our streets to be taken over by rows of tents occupied by people, many of them from abroad, yes, because you flippin' well keep chucking them out of the places. Well, anyway, living on the streets as a lifestyle choice, she says. And then she goes on to say, unless we step up now to stop this, British cities will go the way of places like in the US, such as San Francisco or Los Angeles. God, this makes me so furious. What the hell's happened to the United Kingdom, eh? Or should I just say Little England? It's shocking. And proposals by Labour aren't much better, you know. No. You know what this is about, don't you? It's about his 5 pledges. The 5 pledges that he hasn't managed to keep. You know, little old Richie Sunak in his short trousers. So if they look at that, they're manifesto pledges now, aren't they? And that's one of them, to get rid of rough sleeping. Tell you what, we'll get rid of rough sleeping by criminalising it. Maybe getting rid of it through by allowing them to freeze to death, just like they did the elderly people during COVID, according to Boris Johnson. You know what he said. Yeah, well, should we sacrifice the economy for the sake of a load of old people who are going to die anyway soon? These people are unbelievable. The Tories are just evil, all of them. I don't think there's any good ones amongst them anymore. There's no. It's just. I find this quite distressing, actually, and quite upsetting. Yes, I just come in from the workshop, in case you're wondering. Well, I got my old dungarees on. I don't know what you think. Please leave in the comments down below. But yeah, I ain't finished yet. But so the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, has described rough sleeping as a lifestyle choice while defending a decision to restrict the use of tents by homeless people on the streets of Britain. According to Whitehall insiders, Braverman's plan, Suella Braverman's plan, Home Secretary, to crack down on tents that cause a nuisance in urban areas such as high streets amid growing numbers of rough sleepers, and what the government considers a rise in antisocial behaviour. Right, okay, this is where it gets really flippin' ridiculous. The Home Secretary has also proposed that the introduction of a civil offence, which could lead to charities being fined if they provide homeless people with tents. Yes, charities being fined so they then can't afford to help more people. Really? If the Home Secretary was doing her job and was processing the people who are waiting to get visas and what have you, well then maybe there'll be less people homeless. Because like she said, a lot of them are from abroad. A lot of them are actually ones that they're pushed out of the hotels. Oh, well, you haven't done this or you haven't done that. You haven't gone to the Bibby Stockholm, so what we'll do is we'll do nothing. And we won't process your claims. And you become, well, an illegal. Well, they call them illegals anyway, but they're not. No, you're not illegal unless you are actually deemed as illegal. Really, through the courts, really. Oh. She goes on to say, this is another killer, this is. The British people are compassionate, and we always support those who are generally homeless, like I say. How can they not be generally homeless when, quite frankly, they're homeless and they've got nowhere to live? Of course they're homeless! And like I say, unless we step in there, British cities are going to go the way of places like in the US, like San Francisco and Los Angeles, which has led to an explosion of crime and drug taking and squalor. Oh my God. Well, what about the Vagrancy Act? They've already started using it. And the Vagrancy Act, it comes, well, bloody hell, when was that? Would that come in now? Was it 18 something or other? I did have it here somewhere. Oh, crikey. Here it is. Oh, crikey. I know it's a bit ad hoc, this video, but there you go. Thousands of homeless people arrested under the archaic Vagrancy Act. Well, the Vagrancy Act, which I think came in 1800 something, it was a 200 years old Vagrancy Act. And since 2021, 1,173 people have already been arrested. And actually, about 4,000 people have been arrested in as many years. 4 years, in the last 4 years. In England and Wales. Well, this act was brought in, actually, since, due to, I think it was Neapolitan wars. And basically, when the forces all came back, and they basically got no money. Got nowhere to live. No. So they brought in the Vagrancy Act. Because obviously there was squalor everywhere. So, yeah, foul. Absolutely foul. But, yeah, people begging and wandering around, apparently. That's basically what a vagrant is. Begging and just wandering around. Flipping hell. It's like the protesters. Can't even hold up a piece of paper these days, no. Anyway, what do you reckon to this? Because I just find this absolutely disgusting. It really is. And, I don't know. Is this supposed to represent us as a people? Do people actually really accept that this is okay? Because I certainly do not. And you tell me. Please leave in the comments down below, and please boot the old like button and maybe subscribe and all that, and the bell icon and that. Because then you got a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. And if you want to support the channel, you do it on Patreon or buy us a coffee, and the links are down below. We've also got memberships as well, if you like. Blimey. Anyway, if not, just boot the old like button, because it helps the channel, and I need all the help I can get, that I can. Oh well. I'm disgusted, I really am. Anyway, back to the workshop. Toodaloo.